Duddingston Golf Club in Edinburgh was the venue for two of the most prestigious tournaments in the junior golf calendar, with the boys playing for the Stephen Gallacher Foundation Trophy and the girls competing for the Stephen Gallacher Foundation Vase. Tree-lined and tricky, the parkland layout demands accuracy rather than power and was in fantastic condition for the golfers looking to score some Wagger ranking points. Starting with the girls then, where, as we start the final round, Stella Walters has a commanding lead, and they were sent on their way by former Foundation player Megan Fallon on the first tee. But up out to the penultimate group playing the third, and here's Erin Husky showing the kind of creativity needed here at Duddingston with this low chaser approach from the trees. She would get down in two from there for her par. Nicely done. Carla Burns would need to hole out from this more conventional approach just to save her par. Unfortunately though, the putt didn't drop this time, and that's a shot dropped. Out in the final group, a nearest challenger to Stella Walters, Louisa Hamilton, would also need to hole a lengthy putt to save her par, and despite a great effort, unfortunately it too would stay above ground. Up to the par 5 fourth, where Greenock's Jayla Kepler would continue her day of mixed fortunes by converting this chip for a welcome birdie after a slow start. So could our current leader Stella Walters match that with this birdie putt? Not this time around. On to the fifth, where Jayla, once again, close to the green with wedge in hand, would hit another terrific shot close to the hole, and she would see that home for back-to-back birdies. Louisa Hamilton though was now 2 shots behind Stella and looking to close the gap with a smart approach shot of her own. Frustratingly though for Louisa, that putt would again be missed, while Stella would also hole out for a par to stay 2 shots ahead. And with the girls enjoying mixed fortunes early on in front of the cameras, we moved back down the course to pick up some of the action from the boys before finishing with the conclusion of the girls tournament. The first here at Duddingston is a reachable par 5 for most of the boys' field if you could keep the ball straight. Taking advantage early was Callum Morrison by sinking this eagle putt. He would get another eagle at the 4th, on his way to finishing just inside the top 20. East Kilbride's Cameron Meldrum would set himself up for a chance of an eagle with this great approach shot at the first, but he would have to settle for a birdie. It would be tied 5th for Cameron though, a good result for the week. In the group behind, Sean Collins had made the trip up from Burr Hill Golf Club in Surrey. Holing his putt after this approach for an eagle was asking a bit too much, and it would be a birdie 4 for Sean. Playing alongside him was Evan Walker. He left himself a much more makeable putt and a good chance for an eagle 3 just from the edge of the green, but he too would have to settle for an opening birdie. Up to the 4th, the next par 5, and this time Evan was just short after 2 hits, but a very tidy chip would lead to his second birdie of the round. Nicely done. Sean Collins had made it onto the green for another lengthy eagle attempt, just to the side, but he would have to settle for another birdie. But he was going well and looking to catch the leader, who after 3 rounds was Fraser Walters from Blair Gowrie. Fraser had been a little bit wayward with his opening tee shot here at 1, but almost recovered with this approach. The low chasing hook around the trees had just a little bit too much movement in it though. He would run into the bunker and open up his round with a par. One group behind, in the final group, was halfway leader Fraser Brown from Nairn, who had had a disappointing third round but was still very much in contention, especially after holing this eagle putt he left himself after a fantastic approach from the trees here at the first. Great start to round 4. On now to the 4th, where Fraser Walters was trying for another eagle but would have to settle for a birdie, his first in this final round, where the chasing pack were now closing the gap. That gap was all but gone after the 6th, where Fraser hit this nice bunker shot. However, this was his third shot at the par 3. He did hole for a bogey, but the lead was now gone. The 202-yard par 3-6 was proving tricky for many. However, Scott Palin's tee shot would be one to savour on a day where he would have hoped for better from himself. One of the few highlights. Well played, Scott. So back now to see how the girls' Vase competition would finish. You'll have to take our word for it that just over the brow of the hill there was Stella Walters, who by now had a commanding lead, and no wonder with approach play like that. There was still plenty for Stella to do, having to hold this putt for her third birdie of the final round. But the green's in fantastic condition. The sun was out and that ball was in from the second it left the putter head. Third birdie of the day and looking good. Louisa Hamilton had fallen away in her final round, which seemed to be summed up by another putt here, running close but not dropping. Body language says it all. Ahead on 17, Douglas Park's Carla Burns was trying to finish strong and played a nice approach onto the green here with her third shot at the par 5. Right over the flag. Playing partners Holly Mackenzie and Erin Husky had both found the greenside bunker. An attempt to make it onto the par 5 in 2 shots. Holly played out nicely first, although her round hadn't gone to plan as she fell down the leaderboard. But Erin Husky was holding on to the chances of a top 3 finish, and she would get out of the bunker nicely. But it was only Carla that would walk off the green with a birdie. Well played. And she would finish in 6th place. A good result for the youngster. Now up onto 9, as Fraser Walters was trying for his birdie, younger sister Stella was going for an eagle here on 17 to further stretch her lead ahead of the chasing pack. Although the truth is, she was far enough ahead that she could relax and enjoy just tapping in for birdie number 4 of her final round. On 18, Erin Husky would finish with a birdie after a fantastic approach shot, and she would finish on her own in 2nd place after playing her back 9 in 2 under par. But the clear winner was Stella Walters, finishing with a par on the last for a resounding 8-shot victory. Fantastic play for the youngster, who's now racking up the titles. Louisa Hamilton finishing off here. 3rd place for her. But congratulations to Stella. And let's hear from her after the trophy was presented. Don't drop it now. From former winner Katie Graham.
It was really close, and then the back 9 I had a couple birdies which helped. It feels really good. It was a long 4 rounds, especially with 36 holes on the last day, so I'm happy I could win.
And so to the conclusion of the boys' trophy, where Sean Collins here at the 14th was now in the lead after carding 7 birdies and 4 bogeys, meaning that his 2 putts here would see him get only his 3rd par of the round. Back at 13, and Fraser Brown had this birdie putt to pull level again with Sean, but it just stayed on the high side. Perhaps the adrenaline was kicking in, which also might explain overshooting the 14th with this tee shot. right over the back of the green, although he would get up and down to save par and keep in touch at the top of the leaderboard. Sean was determined to keep the pressure on though, and did so by holing out for his 8th birdie of the round here at 16. Fantastic stuff from a golfer who knows his own game well and decided not to push for the green in 2 here at the par 5 17th, but trusted himself with his wedge to set up a birdie chance from the middle of the fairway. We move up to the green, and playing partner Evan Walker did get to the green in 2, so had this for an eagle. Not quite making it to the hole there, but he would get his birdie on his way to finishing in 4th place. So, could Sean hole his putt for his 9th birdie in this amazing 4th round? He certainly could. Fantastic stuff. And now a 3-shot lead with only 1 hole to play for Sean. But out behind in the final group, Fraser Brown. Well, he would now have to make up 3 shots on Sean over the final 2 holes. And he was going for it again, just kicking forward there. Well, if that had landed 3 yards further on, he'd be right next to the hole. Unfortunately, that cost him his eagle opportunity, although he did hole out for a birdie, only 2 shots back. And that gap would go down to just 1 shot, as that was Sean Collins attempting to hole out for a par on the last after overshooting with his birdie putt. So the lead now only 1 shot, and he would have to sit and wait and watch the others finish off, including the leader after 3 rounds, Fraser Walters, who had uncharacteristically dropped too many shots in his final round, and a par on the last saw him finish 2 shots back in 3rd place, with the consolation of winning the Bobby Johnson Trophy for the best under 16 player. And so it all came down to the final group and Fraser Brown needing a birdie to force a playoff. Safe rather than spectacular with that line, and again perhaps the adrenaline kicking in as the ball flew the green. Well, that would leave a spectacular effort needed to get his birdie to force that play off, and the ball just catching up in the longer grass, and you could see what Fraser thought of that. Disappointed, although he shouldn't be. It's been a fantastic week's golf for the young man from Nairn. Well, could he finish with a par to finish solo in 2nd spot? Yes, he could. No real surprise there, he's been playing well all week. But that meant that our winner of the Stephen Gallacher Foundation Trophy for 2026 was Sean Collins.
Feels really good. Yeah, to be honest, just really satisfying. I've been in exams the past 2 months, so wasn't really expecting to come out here and play this well, but yeah, happy I got the job done. Course in great condition, really enjoyed the layout, and yeah, definitely coming back next year.
Thanks again to Duddingston for being a fantastic host venue, and congratulations again to our winners for 2026, Stella Walters and Sean Collins.